Hello, everybody. Slide this forward a little bit. Hope everybody had a great lunch, a good stretch. The event is about to get very interesting. I'm glad that my podium is back a little ways because there are two teams coming up that are divided down the middle. There may be barbs or paper tossed across. I'm not in the line of fire. As you're coming in to sit down, I'm very, very excited to announce this next section, which we thought in getting ShopAble going this year, should we have another panel or should we have a classic old-fashioned high school debate? What do you guys think? Who wants a panel? Who wants a debate? Yes, let's go. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to announce the two teams who will be competing in this debate. There is a lot at stake today. You all will decide the winners. At the end, there will be something to scan on the screen. I'm told it's called a QR code that you can use to vote for which team you think won the debate. Team retail or team media? Is it retail media or retail media? Or is it retail media? I don't know. They're going to tell us. So without further ado, I would like to introduce team retail, Mark Stamps from the Harvest Group and Chris McDermott from Spark. Major pride at stake here. Someone will be named, debate king and queen, no doubt. Fighting in the red corner, Team Media. We have Josh, El Señor, the CEO of Channel Bakers, and Elizabeth from Tenuity, who you met earlier today. May you please come to the stage, Team Media, Josh Kreitzer, Elizabeth Marston.
Sitting today.
You got walkout songs.
I don't do
They wanted you to look taller.
You have privacy panels. Oh, the barbs are already coming through. Let me just slide this back a little bit here. Okay. So, are you guys okay? Are you ready? Everybody's got something to sip on. The audience is satiated from a really delicious lunch. Happy hours in a short few hours. Let's dive right into this. Teams, ready to go?
Let's go.
Audience, ready to go?
Let's go.
All right. Question number one. Here's the format. I will read a question. We will have a team answer. The other team will have a chance to give their response, and then it will be a brief rebuttal. And we will have two questions today, and then the audience will vote, and we will crown with an amazing trophy the winners of the debate. Team, is it retail media?
We gotta sit close.
Or is it retail media? Okay. Question number one. A consulting firm helping a CPG brand team to restructure their advertising. They want to move it from the sales to the media team. Why should the media team own it versus team retail? Do you agree or disagree? And what would you do in this situation? I would like to give this question first to team retail.
Do we get to talk about it?
You know what? Good idea. Let's have about 30 seconds for you guys to plan your approach.
I think that's stupid.
Do we need 30 seconds?
I don't know.
Are we supposed to cover our
They
minds?
seem to need
They seem to need it.
Oh, there.
Team retail.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No.
Can you use it in a sentence? Right.
So the question is, do we agree or disagree? Vehemently disagree.
Ooh,
Yes.
hot take.
Well, first of all, you said there was a consultant.
There is a consulting
I mean,
firm.
we've
that's
used a
helping
consultant
restructure.
before. They have a very earned negative reputation. So they actually create problems so they can come back and give you another consultant to charge. So, but we agreed that if this did happen as the sales team, we would immediately lower the forecast.
That's right.
The consultants have now removed all negotiation power from the sales team, all the leverage on the front line, who's the closest to the customer. So that means you're actually putting volume at risk, and you not have product for your consumers. So I think the brand needs to really look at that. The more intimate knowledge of the retailer and the better relationship. So the consultants already inhibited it. So why, I think you asked,
Okay.
why should Team Retail own the budgets? First of all, we got real data. I mean, you can't spell retail without real.
Ooh.
So, but we got real data. So imagine you go over here and you're going to watch the Knicks, go Knicks at the NBA Finals, and guess what if there was no scoreboard? You can count how many people come in, you can count how many hot dogs were sold, but you don't know who wins or not. Is that fun? That's team media.
A lot of green ribbon.
They don't have data to know if it is actually working. So that's the first and foremost. So real closed loop measurement is in the retail side. We also agreed that the sales teams have better discipline. Financial, fiscal discipline. How many have invited your salespeople to Cannes? 0, probably. Ooh. They don't want to know you're on a beach on a boat, okay? I think there might be a little bit more discipline in sales and the rigorous investment justification for every bit of trade spend. So I think that is ongoing performance tracking in team retail. It's not just a set it, forget it, and then you'll find out later on these long MMM cycles if it worked or not. So, and I would say the third is just faster decision making, tied to revenue. We got a lot of shortened approval chains because there's not that many salespeople versus marketing, and very aligned incentives. So, now,
Interesting.
I think those are our main points. Maybe I don't want to discredit my, team media over there, but you might hear Elizabeth talk about.
Where's the clock?
No clock. Yeah.
Are we good? Are we?
Well, Elizabeth always talks about dinosaurs in all of her webinars.
No, I don't talk about them. I have pictures of them.
Well, pictures of dinosaurs.
Let's not make it personal, team.
Prehistoric thinking is what I think that's what's stimulating.
They are using laptops.
No, and I don't know. Joshua just sold to a holdco, so I think he's probably under NDA not to probably disclose the truth. I don't know.
Let me get this in between you guys here.
We'll let them see what they come up with.
Okay, all right. Is this argument from Team Retail complete?
I think so.
We are aligned.
Yeah.
Thank you, Team Retail, for your alignment and strong arguments. Team Media, I would like to pass the baton to you.
We don't need to huddle. I'm going to let her go first.
I appreciate that Mark remembers my content.
There's that.
Clearly, it's working. So, who saw the deal today between PayPal and Perplexity? They're going to be partners. We are here with agentic commerce today. I don't need the sales team for that. We are now in an agency. We are now in our era of M2M, machine to machine. eMarketer just recently put out a report on how we are headed in that direction. Retailer relationships are going to die. Ooh. We don't need them the same way anymore. We just don't. The math is also that we all have the same data. It's what are we going to feed it into, and how are we going to take those outputs? And it is going to go to media. Not Walmart, not Amazon, not video, not sponsored brands. Media.
Can I jump in now? Am I good? I want to first fake news fact check. Since the beginning of this whole landscape of, let's just say that it began with Amazon thing called sponsored products, always gave us a unit sold, by the way, and we all live and die by a unit sold in this landscape. The media I think you're talking about is like TV and radio and print. Like, I don't know if that's, your time in life, but just...
Just ask him how many matrix printers he has.
How many, I just wanted to define and make sure everybody knows that in retail media, one of the cool things about it in the beginning when we all began in 2013, we were all there, was the fact that you could actually get a unit sold and target your competitor and identify exactly how many units you stole away from your competitor, units sold. So I align with you with the mindset that we've always been able to do this in the media side of the house. It's not just awareness and consideration. I agree with you. The other thing I want to point out is even now in the landscape of streaming TV with, you mentioned this thing called a QR code.
Yes.
One of the tactical playbooks we like to talk about, and by the way, there's a whole new set of widgets within the Amazon brand store landscape that are now shoppable, add to cart. You don't have to send traffic to your detail page. That's the bathroom wall of Amazon's website. Your brand store can now be curated experiences, competitor-free. You can leverage awareness media with QR code to drive straight to a brand store that's got all the add to cart widgets so you can close the sale in your brand store. Tactical all the way from awareness media, if we're going there, down to the sale. So I had all kinds of other notes, but I mean, you triggered me, dude.
Okay. Wow.
I was over
All right.
here like,
Okay.
okay, and by the way, I always like to leave you with something actionable that you can take away and go do without us. You know what I'm saying? Refresh your brand stores right now. There's more shoppable widgets. You don't have to send traffic to the detail page. DPVR is a horrible metric. Drive traffic to your brand store and close the sale there with no competitors.
Look, spirits run a little high on homecoming weekend. I get it. I get it.
Is it time? Is it time to wake back up?
Okay. All right.
I just heard a lot
Do we
of
need
noise.
a brief rebuttal?
I got
from-
5-hour energies.
You know what?
Gotcha.
I will just say a lot of bad words, so I'm going to let Chris take.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to bring some dignity.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome. Someone said earlier today, I can't remember who it was, there was like a three-legged stool, and they were talking about operations. Was it retail operations?
It was
they were
retail
talking about?
operations, yeah.
Yeah. And the
But I'm
reason
going to
that
automate it with revenue recovery with Sky's new platform.
the reason I say that is because we sell physical products. And without the products, we don't have a discipline. So I'm very comfortable saying retailers are never going away, they're changing, and we need that negotiation, but we'll never not have a world with merchants, we'll never not have a world with companies that are responsible for selling that product. So I'm team retail all the way.
They have too much power.
Thank you for the rebuttal, audience. Let that sink in a little bit. That was a really strong first debate question. Both teams handled themselves with great dignity. Thank you.
Dignity was not in the description.
As we would expect from
Media.
this group. Thank you so much. Let that sink in. Remember, you're voting on how they responded to 2 questions. So question number 2, we're going to start with Team Media. Where are new budgets going to come from? And what do you think the future state is? How are you going to compete? And where is the growth going to come from in your commerce business?
Were you going to start with that one?
We're going to do it.
I'm going to start with
You
that
got some hot takes on merch.
Do you need a few seconds to think? We can play the Jeopardy music.
Oh, I'll do that just for fun.
All right, yeah, just
Yeah.
really quickly. Just you guys can think a little bit.
Doesn't matter.
All right, we're good.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Team Media, your thoughts.
Number 1, looking at eMarketer, I'm sure everybody reads eMarketer every day, like when you wake up in the morning, right?
Naturally.
Literally yesterday's latest article, future-proofing retail media for, I don't know, maybe I just put that backwards. At the end of the day, future-proofing retail media, they said the retailers, they were picking on the retailers actually, stating that the retailers need to break down their own silos between merchant-sold programs and retail media-sold programs. You know, the merchant-sold programs that don't come with measurement, they never tell you how many units sold, you know, those programs. They need to figure out how to solve for that as quickly as possible because everybody's got their hand out asking you for money, right? And that in and of itself is something that they say is the next thing is a crucial step for retail media networks is they need to break down their own silos. Now I'm going to flip it back to everybody in here that works at a brand. I'm not going to make you raise your hand. But on the inverse of that, something that Elizabeth alluded to earlier with her response was we also need to break down the silos within the brand. No longer should it be like I'm the Walmart person and I'm the Amazon person and I'm the D2C person and we all don't play nice together. That's very antiquated, dinosauric, right? That is also got to be broken down. If the retailers are going to begin to do it, you should too, right? So one of the titles that is one of my favorites is Head of Integrated Marketing because it's centered around and they build their teams around. It doesn't really matter which ad placement and which platform it's on, whether it's retail media, Google, Meta, social, what have you, right? That landscape, that's where all the new budgets are going to come from. Imagine being able to empower retail sales using the social team's budget, using the demand generation team's budget, if you've got a corporate brand awareness budget, and being able to leverage that so that you can path out the right customer's decision journey. And yes, today with all the varying different marketing clouds that are out there, yes, you can figure that out. So that is my response to where I think the budgets are going to come from. They all have budgets. The brand awareness teams are using it separately from the retail teams. At the end of the day, we all want to drive a sale. Integrated marketing.
Team Media, do you rest your case or is there another comment?
I got one last hot take. I actually think the word retail media, I mean, what was it before? Like, we keep evolving it anyway. I actually think in about 2 to 3 years, we're not even going to use it anymore because it's going to be commerce media. This is commerce. Everything is commerce. Everything stems from. So we should start looking at more of a SKU level based approach and kind of like out to the market and where it should be versus this like, again, this Walmart budget, this like Target budget, and be focusing on these cross-type measurement outcomes. Like when we look at, for example, when we think about incrementality, like Sky didn't put into their platform IROA, it's incremental events, not just incremental to the particular moment in time and that SKU. It's going to go bigger across search, across social, holistically where people are when they're ready to buy. It's just commerce.
There was one more hot take. Sorry, I got one more hot take. And your retail media network spends should be applied to your net per product margin at your retail partners, not just the merchandising programs that have no data behind them. That's a thing that has not quite happened to the extent that it could. But if you spend $100,000, it gets applied to the net product margin at a particular retailer who's a .com that has purchase order algorithms. Those guys, that spend that we spend over here should be applied to the net PPM on the other end of the table, because that would empower the flywheel, right?
Ooh, math.
So we're not going to grade on a curve at this high school anymore. So but I like the way you're going with this. You rest your case, Team Media, because now.
I didn't get to use any of my stats that I wrote. I was like,
Oh, all right.
Wait, they got a rebuttal.
Team Retail, your
Just, like, hold
response.
them up.
Our response is there is no such thing as a secret pool of money that any brand is sitting on, and the people who are most qualified to tell you that are the sales teams. Sales teams are way more disciplined, to Mark's point earlier, in terms of proving the value of every dollar spent. They have 100 years of practice of doing it, and they can do it in their sleep. And they're not going to be writing big checks and writing JBPs to certain media platforms that they don't believe can deliver. So the sales teams, the retail teams, can be informed on media best practices, and they will be, and they can have the ones with the leverage to unlock any additional dollars that might be able to be repurposed from those brand awareness campaigns.
Yeah, if I could add, I think you asked where's growth in commerce going to come from? I don't think it's going to be from a brand's DTC side. I think it's going to be at a retailer. So I think if growth is going to be coming, I want to fuel that growth at a retailer via retail media.
But Mark, don't you want to wait 2 years for an MMM to come through and then prove it?
Well, I am going to do a lot of radio.
Yeah.
So I'll see if that works. So
Okay.
where's the dollars going to come from? Chris's point, there's no net new dollars. So we're done with that. But I do think overpriced influencers, expensive linear TV, fancy marketing events, I think there's nice movement out of those into retail media.
Okay, that was a very concise and helpful response from Team Retail. I'll give a brief rebuttal before the bonus
why are
round.
you looking at me?
Do you have stats? I want to hear your stats.
Well, my stats were more centered around media and budgets and where they are and where they come from. So to give you an example, just looking at media as a whole, there's digital media and then there's out of home and there's all these varying different buckets. But 1 out of every 5 digital ad dollar in the next 3 years is going to come from retail media. So again, where are the budget's going to come from? They're going to come from the media side of the house. And again, in the retail media landscape, we do get to drive a sale, so at least we have measurement here now as opposed to, let's say, I don't know, some other social media platform that doesn't really have attribution done well, right? So yeah, there was that stat. The other one was, as we think about driving sales, a lot of times we know that inbound sales that come from outside the retailer also trick their algorithm into, well, fine, we'll call it SEO, right? Into actually organically ranking you. And in the next 2 years, 20% of total digital will be retail media networks. And 63% of that is going to be off-site display driving traffic to the retailer. So yes, I mean, granted, retailers have figured out how to get the brand to pay for their own site traffic, but at the same time, it does help you long tail and short tail because, again, we get a sale from retail media. And there's my rebuttal. That's
Very, very thoughtful
pause.
rebuttal. Thank you. Thank you very much, Team Media. I have a special bonus round for the teams. I know
You can call
guys,
it team media. I'm good with that.
You've prepared for 2 questions. However, I will give you a moment to discuss amongst yourselves. I would like to return to the CPG brand who hired the consulting firm. Now, it is 5 years hence. What's happening inside this brand? How have they structured? Is the consulting firm rehired Team Retail? What has changed? What does this group look like now? I'll give you a few moments.
You know, Nick, you can't spell media without me.
Okay.
For that comment, I would like to give Team Retail the opportunity to respond first.
I think Chris had she's very bright. I'm going to let Chris respond.
Thank you.
Well, in a world in which the CPG actually listens to the consultant, we think that's probably very likely, because usually what happens is someone senior at the CPG has the relationship and says, this is great, we're doing it. And then it fails. So what we see happening in the future is they implement that, they keep it in place for about 18 months, and then revert it back to sales, especially with a COE sitting inside of sales to say, these are the media capabilities that need to sit closer, and then from that matrix integrated side of things.
Yes. Well done.
Excellent response. Team
All
Media.
right. So there is a trend that is already beginning to happen. I mentioned integrated marketing. That's a thing for sure. One of the other things is, and this was also something fun that I noted in my little hot takes from that article, is that brand managers, they're evolving, number one. Brand managers are showing more expertise than the non-Amazon retail media networks and their in-house team, so that's a thing. Hopefully the non-Amazon retail media networks will start to catch up and make things better. But when I say hybrid, what I mean hybrid is, I said integrated, but now I'm going to hybrid. I think you're going to see a lot more marketers that are also hybrid with a strong retail everything, catalog metrics, inventory, on hand, inbound, all the things. Integrated with the media person, it's going to be one persona powered by Sky and their new commerce tool.
We're going to merge individuals together in the
Leveraging
future,
generative
say,
AI.
5 years. Leveraging generative AI.
I mean, we saw this morning.
gonna-
They're going to have
and-
chips in our brains anyway.
And Sam Rad will be back to tell the story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Better together. There it is. Hybrid, integrated teams, always working together. Not separate.
Sounds flippy floppy.
This homecoming version of our classic debate, is it Team Retail Media or Team Retail Media, has been very spirited. Thank you. You guys have held yourselves to very high standards as debaters. This high school is extremely proud of everything that you have done and prepared for today. I would love to crown a team winner. However, that is not my job. That is the job of our dear audience, who had the pleasure of listening to your very concise and clear and thoughtful arguments. To that end, I'd like to play any song that the AV team wants to play, while the folks have the opportunity to scan the QR code and vote for the team that they think has won this debate.
Team Retail!
We can't put our finger on the
yeah.
scale mark.
Okay, sorry.
I'll duck. Oh my goodness, they're still rolling in. Look at its neck and neck.
Wait, did you actually
Neck and
vote for
neck.
yourself? Because I want
Oh
to be able
no! This is too exciting. This is like an F1 race here. All right, we got horses coming around. Is it going to be the, what was the name of
many
the
people are in
horse
this
that won?
room?
Is it procurement
Yeah.
or is it?
There's 140 in here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's too tight. Who's going to be the breaking voice?
What's
I
the-
can't with
what's
this
the
right
deal
now.
breaker?
Do I need to vote right now? I didn't vote yet. All right. No?
Come
Oh!
on.
Integrated, working together.
You can
better
stop
together.
it now.
Oh my goodness. This is too
Working
exciting.
together, better together.
Should we stop it or
Hybrid.
let the voting keep going here?
You're all going to be.
I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're seeing a very thin margin here.
Oh, is there a switch happening?
There are votes coming off. Okay. I would
hey,
like to
Mark.
just
All right, watch
immediately
this little sound in the
announce
corner.
that we have defined a
More
new
people
winner,
coming in the room.
not for any lack of amazing arguments from Team Retail. Second place is a wonderful place to be in, but maybe not in a debate.
If you ain't first, you're last.
I would like to crown Team Media. It is in fact Retail Media today.
Done.
Thank you both teams for being such
do we need to
wonderful sports and showing exactly how this high school comports ourselves on stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to our audience for voting and keeping us honest.
I'm gonna-
Thank you, guys.